Hello, what's going on, everybody? My name is James Jackson. I'm putting this together because I was not expecting this video to be as long as it anticipated. So I'm putting this ahead because I'm going to split this review into two parts. So the first part is going to be a general overview slash review of the VM40 microphones. Basically, I'm going to go into the build quality, some of the accessories, how they work, audio quality, what I like, what I don't like. Essentially, part two is going to go more into use cases, some finer things that you may want to be considering if you're going to, say, use this microphone through an XLR port or a boom mic. Also, I'm going to be going a bit more into some additional shoots and work space that I've used about this. Also diving a little bit more into the app because that needed a little bit more because again, this review was going a little bit longer than I anticipated. So I'm going to go dive more into that into part two. I'm also going to compare the VM40 microphones to other microphones. So shotgun microphones, I'm going to compare this to is something like the Deity D4 Pro, which it is significantly cheaper, and there may be possible reasons why you may want to use it. But I'm also going to compare it to other 32-bit float wireless options, such as the Rode Wireless Pro. So that is what is going to be happening in part two. But right now, this is going to be part one. And I've already let this intro go as long as it is. So let's get, without wasting any more time, let's go right into the review. This right here is the Comica VM40. I have had this microphone system for about 3 weeks now, and I am really excited to talk about this. This is, I think, the world's first shotgun style microphone that has built-in 32-bit float recording. It comes in two options. It is the single set, or you can get a dual kit set where you can get two of these, and I actually purchased the dual kit. This is the second one. I've got the first one up here, which you guys will be listening to, and you guys can judge on the quality of the sound itself. Now, I've already did my first impressions of this microphone, but today I'm about to give my review because I've actually got a chance to use this on a set and as well done it on quite a few of my YouTube channel videos as well. And today I'm going to be going over the build quality. I'm going to be going over the audio quality, my experience with it, as well as the one thing about this audio unit that is potentially can turn some people away. All that and more in today's video. What's going on, everybody? My name is James Jackson. If you're new here, I do tips, tricks, news, and reviews for the film and video making industry. So if this is content that you like, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can stay up to date on all the content going forth. As we talked about, this is the VM40 microphone. I bought this with my own money. Comica did not send this over to me at all, so I have no reasons to hold back, and trust and believe I'm not going to hold back. But I want to just go ahead and just say, if you're interested in getting this microphone, I think the microphone itself punches way above its asking price and delivers audio quality that actually shocked me, especially given the price. Now, even though there's a single kit option, I'm going to talk today why you might actually want to get the dual kit option. Let me explain. First, we're going to go into the build quality, and I gotta say, first of all, this build quality is amazing, especially given the fact that this microphone is way lighter than it appears to be, but it gives off a very sense of durability, that fact that it's going to last long. I absolutely love the fact that it actually has a dial tone right here on the back. I've particularly found that 6, if you're going to use the dial tone, I found 6 to be the nice sweet spot. And you really want to just try to set this, especially given the fact if you're going to use the 32-bit float internal recordings, because this is still a shotgun microphone. So you kind of still want to set the volume that you want. Even though technically it's 32-bit float, it technically doesn't matter. It's still a microphone. It's doing the job of providing amplifications. So I personally would say set it to somewhere around 5 or 6. Let your miles may vary on how that works. And if you really need to, you can pump it up to, I think 8 comfortably. 9 and 10 is where there is a bit of a hiss that sort of starts kicking in. And that, again, since it is, even though it's 32-bit and float, that hiss does get baked into the audio file as well. Now, this button right here, which is labeled as the safety, is what turns on the microphone, and the record button does, well, obviously record, but it also turns on your high frequency booster as well as your low capacity limiter. So basically, it will cut out the lows, but it will expand the highs, which you may want to try to use the high capacity when you put one of these on. However, I haven't felt the need to, at least for me. It sounds great as it is. Now, the first nitpick I'm going to have with this microphone is sort of the navigation system. I'm not really a fan of it because you got to hold this to turn it on, and you got to hold it for like 5 seconds. Then you got to hold the record button to engage the record button. Then you got to and then you just tap it to turn on either the high frequency booster or the low cuts, or turn both on or turn both off. And then this also button engages the safety track or not. Now, the 32-bit float, I don't think it affects the 32-bit float. Instead, what it does, it affects the audio quality that goes directly into the receiver, which we'll get to the receiver in just a second. And then the last thing is that if you're trying to transfer the 32-bit float off of the microphone, you have to hit both of these down to engage what is called the copy mode. I don't know if you guys will see this, but as you guys can see, this is the copy mode, and you got to hold both of these buttons down in order to do that. Now, for someone like me who kind of has been around and understands this, if I'm doing one-man band, it's not too big of a deal. However, if I was in a situation where I had to hand off the audio responsibilities to someone else, this may get a tad bit confusing and frustrating, and I would basically want to be in a situation where I'm only managing this self. But again, once you've kind of gotten used to the system, it kind of works. The VM40 comes with a few accessories, including this pop microphone and this wind microphone. I find the pop microphone in certain situations to be pretty good. What's going on, everybody? I'm right now out in the cold, and I probably should have got the wind mic, but the wind is not too bad, so we should be fine. But today I'm going to be testing out the noise cancellation of the Comica mic. So right now, I want to I'm trying to show you guys right now. So I'm currently facing away, like my house is like next to a highway. So I'm sort of facing the highway, where, in other words, the microphone is facing away from it. So this is sort of right now testing. We got a car coming by right now. And basically right now we're just sort of testing to see how is this perform. And then I'm gonna start walking my way over here. So now you can see as we move here, we got cars coming down. So as you can see, sort of the sounds we're getting here. But let's turn to the other way. Versus now, where it's quiet. And then let me face the other way. Another car is passing by. And yeah, I just wanted to just sort of show you guys this. If you're holding it kind of like this, just to get some of that pop when you're a little bit closer, compared to the boom of how I have it now. So, but I tend to find it pretty decent. The wind microphone, the wind muzzle, I personally, it's okay. But it doesn't do that good of a wind cutting of the wind. I actually have video footage of using this wind test of the Comica microphone. So it's quite windy out here right now. So, and it's quite noisy. So this is a good chance to test how good the sound is of us canceling the noise, as well as how it is about dealing with wind. So let me know what it is. And yep, we just got a huge bit of wind just hit us right now. So hopefully this sounds pretty good. We'll find out when we get the post. So this is a good segue into the audio quality of this microphone. And in terms of the 32-bit internal float recording, this thing is amazing. The audio quality kind of blew me away at how good it actually is. Now, I've seen a couple of people that have done a test and said that the sound quality is not that good. I could not disagree anymore. This thing is probably some of, at least in terms of the budget-friendly microphones, this is probably one of the best ones that I encountered. I've always enjoyed the sound quality that came out of the Dealbreaker D4 Pro microphone, or as well as the Rode NTG 4 Plus. This is better in terms of the internal 32-bit float. This is better than all of them. Now, there is things you have to be aware of, because this is a super-cordial microphone, and it lives up to its name. So once again, I have the microphone up here. So right now it's just pointing directly at me, and it's often not positioned that way. However, if I was to just go off centered and go off like this, you will notice that there is a drastic change in terms of audio quality compared to where it is when it's directly in here. The positioning you have of this microphone is critical. If you try to have it just like all centered like this, it's going to cut off a lot of the sound. So you want it directly dead set into you. So where the microphone is going, where you're going into mostly here. So how you position this microphone is very, very critical. And there's something you may be aware of, especially if you may be interviewing somebody that may be moving around a lot. You may want to just set it a little further back. So I wanted to just talk quickly about my experience with this last minute shoot that I got last week. I got to interview a nun who was helping out in building opportunities for people in the city of Philadelphia. And we went into her retirement home, and it was not necessarily, it's not the quietest. There is a vent system that just kicked on all the time behind us, and we were right by a private airport, so airplanes and helicopters were flying by. And I gotta tell you, I was pleasantly surprised at how good this microphone was. Unfortunately, the project is not fully ready yet, so I can't show you any of that sound just yet. However, I just wanted to give my opportunity on this experience, and they basically knocked it out of the park in terms. But when it's set up properly, it is probably it is up there with some of, not necessarily full-on pro levels of audio. I wouldn't compare it to like some like the Schneps, some of the Schneps microphones, or the what's the other one? Anyways, I digress. But when it comes maybe something like the Sennheiser, some of the Sennheiser MKH microphones, this thing just like, and the higher end ones, this thing holds its own, and it's really well. And the fact that you still got control over the levels, the 32-bit float is incredible. Now, let's get to recording internally to a camera. And I will say it is pretty good. It's pretty solid if you record the microphone directly to the camera, meaning you got a 3.5 millimeter jack, and that 3.5 millimeter jack is going directly to your camera. Then, yes, the audio is passable, it's usable, and I think it's solid. Compared to using the receiver version where you plug it in and you try to do this wirelessly, the sound quality is not as good, even compared to just wirely connecting it to a camera. Here's some tests that I did before, comparing running it into the camera directly versus doing the receiver transmitter. Here's that video, take a look. Right now, I'm set up with the receiver plugged into the camera, which is, I think, the common way most people would assume, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this is probably not necessarily the best case scenario, but I'm curious to find out. So right now the setup is I have the microphone boom directly above me. I've killed all the noise around below and below me, and this is basically how it sounds like. See shit. Ooh, that was brutal. Let me not do that. So, Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers. A peck of peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Totally messed that up. This time, as you guys can see, I am now have the microphone, which is again still boomed up to me, going directly into the camera. Now, the only thing I changed was that I lowered the preamps of the top handle of the Sony FX3 because I noticed that it was actually quite loud and it was sort of getting to the point it looked like it was clipping. So I basically just lowered that. Which also goes to show just how powerful this microphone is when you just run it directly into the camera. It's got a good volume to it, but everything else is still the same. So hopefully you guys can see the difference in terms of quality of sound that you're getting from this microphone just going directly into the camera. So testing 1 2 3 4, testing 1 2 3 4, testing 1 2 3 4. Really curious to see how this will turn out because I have this sneaking suspicion that going just directly into the camera with the microphone will be a lot better than using this receiver at all and just treating the microphone like a normal shotgun mic that you could just plug it in. So again, I had to lower the volume of the preamps of the shotgun handle of the Sony FX3 in order to sort of compensate so I don't blow out the volumes. But here it is. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. So again, testing 1 2 3 4, testing 1 2 3 4, testing 1 2 3 4. And all of this leads into possibly my main gripe of the Comica VM40, and that is the receiver. I am really shocked because of how good the quality, the build quality of this, the audio quality that comes out of this, and how good this is. And then it's tied to this, which I'm sorry, this receiver is absolute cheeks. It is, the build quality is so terrible. Like when I picked it up, I was shocked. I was like, man, this feels so, it feels cheaper than cheap. Number one, I feel like I can break this damn thing. And then it just doesn't stop there, unfortunately. As you probably saw with comparing just the wired into the camera into the microphone versus running it wirelessly. Running wireless to your camera is not as good as just wiring the microphone itself to the camera, let alone the 32-bit float that comes into the microphone itself. But also just from a monitoring perspective, it's not great. If you were to turn this on, if I was to turn this on and then I was to turn the wireless microphone. Oh, and the battery's dead. All right. The problem with the monitoring is that there is such a delay in terms of how you will see the levels show up. Like it's unusable to monitor it. And then the sound quality that comes out of the headphone portion is crap. And then on top of that, when you factor in the transmission signal, yeah, in theory, it works fine if you got it right here, if you're not covering up this part and you're not having your back turned. But sometimes you may want to set up like this for an interview style and then or this way. And the transmitter just does not hold, especially if you're at a wedding or you're at an event or something that has a lot of people moving in front of you. This, I would never trust try to put any sound using this receiver. And the other problem is that the battery life is nowhere near as long as the microphone itself. The microphones, when wired, will last 30 hours, which is amazing. But when you go wirelessly, it drops down to 10 hours, which will obviously get you, if you got it fully charged, will get you most of the day. But the battery on here lasts even less than the microphones itself, which kind of boils down to a problem is that if I can't basically keep this on the charge, I have to go physically go in and basically turn the microphones off manually on the microphone itself versus basically using this to sort of monitor and sort of hit record. That's really the only thing that's really good this receiver is good at. It's good at basically hitting record. That is until you run out of battery, of course. Now, Comica does have an app that you could basically control the microphones through, but that also is tied directly to the receiver. If the receiver is not on, the app is pretty much useless. This is kind of where I say maybe getting the dual kit system is actually kind of worth it, because at least here you can record wirelessly and you got that time frame and you got the 32-bit floating recording, but you could then use the microphone itself onto your camera as scratch, and that will last 30 hours. So you'll be good for for whatever day shoot that you may have. It's just, this thing is unreliable. It's built cheaply. It's this is, if it wasn't for this, I mean, this would be like, I would be singing the praises up towards, and I'll be telling you guys, everybody buy it. Now, I still think this is a great microphone, and you should absolutely consider this. Because honestly, again, just the fact that I have a 32-bit float system that I can set up and basically use, or I can go podcast style if I want to, where I can have two of these and just run these and have a nice long conversations. The microphones are indeed worth it. I just got to tell you guys, the receiver is not as useful. And Comica, if you are watching this, please redesign these and bring out a better quality wireless Wi-Fi transmission, and also just better quality sounding coming out of this. Now, I know the receiver is probably making it feel like I hate this or I think this is a bad product, and that couldn't be farther from the case. I am so happy and so ecstatic that I got this. And again, with the stuff that comes with it, especially with the dual kit system, for less than $400, you get two 32-bit float internal recorded microphones that come with all the different accessories that you can get with it. The quality out of this is great. The build quality out of this is fantastic. I enjoyed the hell out of this mic, and I'm so glad. And if you are looking to upgrade your sound, I do recommend these. I just would tell you, get the dual kit, because at least you'll have an ability to record scratch with one of these microphones while still using the second one as a wireless 32-bit float recording option. But also keep in mind, you can still record 32-bit float on the second one as well. So you got multiple options of backups and safeties and good quality here, where you don't have to be limited to the problems of the receiver. So I definitely recommend this microphone for anybody looking to improve sounds. The only people that I will probably recommend this to is actual professional sound location sound people, because the equipment that they're going to be used is just much more higher end and much better. But if you're someone that's doing more of a one-man band, or maybe you're working with, or you just want to have some microphones for yourself as for smaller budget projects, or just to improve your quality as well. There's very few microphones that are like budget friendly that I think perform better than the VM40 microphones. Anyways, this is it for me, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys interested in the VM40 microphones? I would love to know. Let me know. Leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.